Welcome back to the Let's Talk About It podcast. Of course, I am Lashawnda.
And I'm the Mike.
And we back, y'all. I know it's been a minute, but we are making some changes to the podcast. And that's the very first thing I want us to kind of talk about. The issue that we were experiencing before was we would get stuck on what we wanted to talk about. And we didn't want to do like a full podcast episode on like one specific topic. So we are going to do something a little bit different that I feel will make it easier for us to do the podcast.
Yeah.
So do you want me to cover the changes or do you want to cover the changes?
Nah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so since he wants me to cover the changes, we are going to have actual flow for this podcast. So we're going to start off with what's new. So that will give us the opportunity to share with you guys what's new in our lives, whether it's like anything new that we're trying or just kind of give you like life updates on what's going on to kick off the episode. And then after we do that, we're going to cover a hot topic. And this part we really love because sometimes there's stuff going on in the world or in America or wherever, and we're like, dang, we want to talk about this, but we don't want it to be an entire episode per se.
Right.
So this will give us the opportunity to kind of give you insight on what we feel is going on or our perspective on what's going on. And then we're going to do something called a What Would You Do segment or a question of the day. The What Would You Do segment is where we're going to share like a scenario and give our opinions on what we would do in that situation. Or we're going to do a question of the day and we're going to like share what our answers are. And you can also share what you would do or what your answers are in the comments. How you feel about that so far?
Hey, I'm ready. I said, let's do it.
You're ready?
Yeah.
And then the last thing with our podcast, we're going to wrap it up by giving daily advice. So we're going to pick a random question and what someone may be going through, and we're going to give advice on that particular topic, or we're going to leave it off with a daily affirmation.
Amen.
Completely different than what we were doing before. Let us know by the end of this episode, once we go through everything, what your opinions are on this flow, because we're going to continue to kind of make adjustments until it feels good to us.
Yeah, it feels right.
Feels right. It feels right.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so now we're going to kick it off. We're going to go right into it. So, Michael, what's new with you? What's going on?
Well, I like long walks on the beach. I like so for me, I actually started doing the carnivore diet. It's been, I think, I want to say about 3 weeks now.
Yeah.
That I've been on it. I'm really wanting to get to where I drop even more weight, and it's kind of been like a yo-yo thing with me. So it's been like an off and on with trying to find what works for me. This has actually been something that really works for me. And one of the things that I started doing to help as well is, whenever you're doing something extreme or something real strict as far as like your eating habits and stuff like that, there are certain things that you need, like electrolytes and stuff like that. So one of the things I started including was I have an electrolyte powder that I got from Dr. Berg off of Amazon, which I think is like $35, but it does wonders, guys. The first couple of days I was a little felt a little different, because I'm sure there's like potassium or magnesium or some things that I'm not currently I guess sufficing. I guess that I'm a little low in, and so it took a little getting used to, a little adjustment. But ever since I've been taking it, my behavior has been just like my attitude. Everything has just been so much more positive, and I'm excited. And of course, with this going on too, it's been really helpful as far as having energy, because now my energy levels are much higher. On top of that, I'll tell you another thing that's new is I'm actually working towards getting a food cart. I want to start cooking, and it's one of the things that I'm really passionate about. I absolutely love to cook anyway, and I cook for my family all the time, and I cook for friends and coworkers and things like that. So it got to a point where I was like, you know what? I feel as if my food is good enough now. So I changed my YouTube channel over to a food channel now. Yep. And I'm actually taking food and stuff like that to work and stuff to let people try samples and things like that. And then currently I'm trying to get like the permits and the things that I need in order to be able to actually sell my food. So that's what's going on with me.
That's a big update right there.
Yeah, there's a lot of changes.
Yeah, that's a big update. So yeah, all of those things. I was wondering if you was gonna cover your cooking channel and your food stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot. And the funny thing is when I started talking about it, then all these started popping in my head, and I'm like, yeah, I actually got quite a few things going on.
We do.
without even realizing it. What about you?
Yeah, so with me, I recently got monetized on YouTube. It's actually been a little, I want to say like maybe 30 days, going on 30 days now, because it's been a minute since we did an episode. But I have recently got monetized on my main YouTube channel. That is where I have been for this time. So I don't know if you guys are already subscribed to my channel, but it's just Lashawnda Smith, and I do a lot more of like educational content for women entrepreneurs who are interested in starting a YouTube channel or podcasting, and they're basically just trying to grow their business online. And I've been putting in the blood, sweat, and tears.
When I tell you this girl has been working.
Yes, I have been putting in the blood, sweat, and tears to like build out my business the way that I want to build it out and create something that feels good as I'm doing it. So getting monetized, 90% of people that start on YouTube never get monetized. They never hit 1,000 YouTube subscribers. So it was such a big accomplishment for me to be able to get that main channel monetized, you know, not just for like my business, but for myself. Because if you're pursuing YouTube, like this channel really don't count for us because we got monetized in 30 days over here. Like our first 2 videos just took off.
Man.
It was
very, very.
And
grateful.
I remember I told Michael, I was like, Michael, this is not normal. Like this don't just happen to YouTube channels. Like normally it could take years for you to really get monetized, depending on like how consistent you are. Normally you fall off and things like that. But currently my channel is at, I want to say 2,200 follow or subscribers right now. It's like something like that, but it's starting to grow at its own pace, and I absolutely love that for me in reference to like that being the primary marketing strategy that I'm using for my business.
Amen. God's good.
God is good all the time. all the time. All right, so we're gonna move on to the hot topic, and if we are looking down, because we ain't editing, we're gonna try our best not to edit this episode.
Amen.
We have our notes down here, so we may be looking down every now and then. So let's talk about the hot topic: movies and songs remakes. Let's talk about it.
So I know for me, I feel like where is the creativity in creating something new? I hear like music being redone over and over and over. There was like an Elton John song that I heard the other day, and it was redone by a woman or something like that. And I'm like, create something new. And it's not even just that song. There's multiple songs that are being redone. Movies, like we don't need another Beetlejuice. We don't need we don't need another Color Purple.
Right.
Like some things need to be as they are. Those are epic movies from the time that they were made. You know, I don't feel like movies need to be remade. I feel like, if I'm being honest, I kind of feel like other countries are coming up with better stuff. Like, because dang, Squid Games and things like that is that's pretty cool stuff that you know, very entertaining as well too.
Yeah, it gets to the point, and I don't know if it's just us, and because first of all, Michael is a movie watcher. For one, he watches the movies that's his thing, but it makes you kind of like run out of movies to watch because you're like, I don't necessarily want to see this movie again. And then it would be different if they remade it and it was good. Like they put their own little spin on it and it was like really enjoyable to watch. But a lot of the times it's like, like this is what you did with that beautiful classic movie. Like why are we turning old movies into musicals? First of all,
there's just like there's definitely some movies, like some epic movies that I feel like need to stay as they are. You know? You don't need to keep remaking movies. And like you said, like movies are so predictable now. Like there's been a couple. What was it, Cobweb or something like that? That was pretty cool.
That was really good.
I like those ones that you can't actually predict
what's going on. But like, how many more Alien movies do we need? How many more End of the World movies do we need? How many more zombie movies do we need? Like, if you've seen one or two, you've pretty much seen them all at this point, you know? So that's just my opinion on that. Anything else you want to say in reference to movie remakes, the song remakes?
Nah, I just feel like it's kind of redundant to keep doing the same thing over and over and over.
Yeah.
So, but that's just my opinion.
All right, so I'm going to let you read the what would you do situation. It's right here.
What would you? Oh, okay. Okay, this is a good one. What would you do if your best friend revealed that he was or she was in love with your spouse?
I'm gonna let you answer first.
First of all, they got to go. They got to go because I feel like whenever you get a spouse and you have somebody that you are, I guess, picking to be your better half, the person that you're picking to be with, for life, I feel like whenever you do that, that is what's important in your life. If you have a friend that even considers your spouse as attractive or in any way something that they desire, that's not a friend. Because I've had friends that have been with, that have had beautiful girlfriends, and I look at them like family, like sisters. I don't look at them with a lustful intention or lustful thought.
Yeah.
Now, I also feel like, I guess on the flip side of that as well, too, if something were to come up, vice versa, and your spouse was actually saying something to your friend, I feel like that needs to be revealed as well, too. However, I feel like...
You said what now?
So, like, if somebody has a spouse, right, and their spouse is saying slick stuff to the friend.
Oh, yeah, I'm a snitch.
I feel like the friend needs to come forward.
Yeah.
However, I feel like, in my opinion, it is extremely crucial and very key on who you choose to be your spouse. Because if you trust your spouse and, like you said, you're a snitch. I know she's a snitch.
Yeah, I'm a snitch.
So I don't have any issues with, trust in that field. But like I said, there's a respect barrier. And you should not be looking at somebody else's partner that you supposedly care about in a way other than a friend. Like, I don't know. What is your thoughts on this?
I mean, obviously they got to go. I'm interested in how would you respond to that person in the moment when they are telling you that. But then I also want to say this because I want us to talk about this and I don't want us to forget. Yeah. I also want you to answer, and I'm going to answer it too. What would you do if, like, let's say we're on a cruise or we're doing some type of group activity with, like, best friends or something like that, and my best friend secretly hit on you?
You would know about it. On the spot, too.
Yeah.
You would know about it on the spot. Now, I will say, and, it's crazy because we're talking about hypothetical scenarios. So,
right.
Realistically, it could be like your friend coming to you and be like, "Hey, I just got to tell you, like, I'm attracted to your spouse," or something like that.
I don't feel like they would straight out come out and say it.
Yeah, they probably wouldn't.
They would be bold.
But I could tell you one thing: if I had a best friend and they were to say something slick to you, I'm probably busting them right in their damn face.
That's why I don't think they would. I don't think that they would actually say it. I'm trying to think of, like, in that type of scenario, if they didn't straight out tell you, but you kind of sensed that they had a crush on your spouse. Right, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because we had speculation, but we had a situation come up. This was a while ago now, where it was somebody that was a little questionable. And I was like, babe, I might be reading into it.
Right.
But I just want to let you know just in case.
Right. But I feel like, respectfully, there are ways of keeping those situations from happening. I feel like if you are in touch with your friend and you're in touch with your spouse, you can see the signs of, something progressing or something like that. But there was one a while back on, was it YouTube or something like that, where the guy was talking about how his friend was going and hanging out with his old lady or something like that behind his back.
Oh, yeah. Like they were, doing the most. Like, that's, that's not. Okay, so I had another scenario that's along the lines of that. Okay, so how would you feel, because it's not necessarily a what would you do, but how would you feel if you were involved with someone, let's say, like, it was a long-term relationship, so at least you were with this person for some years. Yeah. Y'all had a really, really bad breakup. I mean, like, it got toxic or whatever, where you would never be with this person ever again. Mm-hmm. And you moved on, like you're with someone else. Right. What would you do, or how would you feel if a previous friend or someone that you still consider a friend, you may not talk to them like that, but you still are on good terms with them. How would you feel if you found out that they were now entertaining that previous person that you were in a long-term relationship with?
It's funny that you say that because that was a topic of discussion in one of my previous relationships as well, too. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I've had that happen before. Where
Really?
where I was actually with somebody, and when we split up, they wound up getting with somebody that I was friends with. It doesn't bother me because when we're officially not together and we've moved on,
Yeah.
then that's what it is. We moved on.
Yeah.
I feel like if I would have been upset about it, then obviously I haven't moved on because
Yeah, that's true.
because I feel like once you allow somebody to move on from you, then that's it. Like you can't control who they see or who they date.
You know what? Kind of speak of it. I actually had a situation like that happen too. Now that I think about it,
Oh,
you know
Lord.
what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
they actually called me too, like not for permission, but like, hey, what you think about so and so? I'm like, what? But you know, like we're not gonna ever get back together. Like I'm engaged, so
Right.
it wasn't a big deal. So yeah, you're right. If you've truly moved on, because if you ain't really moved on, you might feel some type of way. But if you've
Right.
truly moved on, I don't think it will bother you as much. But this also was not a friend necessarily. Like it was a different situation. But yeah, I ain't care.
Yeah, like I said, once both parties have, you know, once it's unsalvageable and both parties have went their separate ways and they've moved on, I don't care who they date.
I feel like though, because I was about to say, I was about to stick with that answer, and we're gonna move on in a second. But as I'm thinking about it more, if it was like a best friend that was like hanging out with us and we were like closely involved, and then they start seeing that person, I would side out a friend because I'm like, was you feeling this way the whole time? Like, I don't know. Anyways,
I would just say in a
Like,
situation like that where you have to, or you may be questioning whether or not anything was entertained during that relationship because of who they're with after the relationship, I would say that you could move on amicably, but however, I would proceed with caution.
I would side out a friend.
Yeah, no,
I ain't even gonna lie.
No, I'm
Yeah.
not saying don't side out a friend. I'm just saying you know where to keep people at.
Like, remember
Some
we was
people
on
need to
that
be at a
vacation
distance.
and we was all together.
Right.
Y'all was hanging out for 5 minutes. Like, I don't know. I'm making up stuff, y'all. Don't even just ignore me.
You
All right.
good, baby.
Is there
You good.
anything else you would say in reference to what would you do? What would y'all do
Yeah, what would y'all do
in that scenario? Leave it in the comments.
Yeah,
'Cause
I'm curious too.
I'm sure everybody has like a different perspective on how to perceive.
Right. And it really depends on the scenario.
It
too,
does
so,
depend on. It depends on the situation. It really does.
Right.
All right, so daily advice. I'm going to read that one. So what advice would you give someone who wants to become a content creator? So I'm going to start because that's in my wheelhouse. Okay. So if you want to become a content creator, for one, I would ask the question of what type of content creator do you want to become? Because at this point, there's multiple types of content creators. When you think about like you having the food channel, I feel like that's a different type of content creator because you're letting your food and your recipe and your process kind of seal the deal for you versus if you're doing educational content, that's a different type of content creator. And then you also have the long form content creators versus the short form video content creators. So I remember, Michael, when you first became a content creator outside of this channel, he started off with short form videos because that felt more comfortable for him. Yeah. Well, maybe video doesn't feel comfortable for you. Maybe podcasting, like having a mic and being able to, it doesn't even have to be video podcasting. Maybe you just want to do audio podcasts. So I say all that to say, ask yourself the question of what feels the most comfortable and what feels the easiest for you to start, and then start there.
Right.
Because this is the era of content creation, and there is money in the content creation space if you desire to become a full-time creator. So do the thing. What advice would you give?
So one of the things that, or advice that I would give definitely would have to be find out what you want to be known for, first of all.
Ooh, yes.
You want to be able to, because you got to remember, you're your own brand. So whatever it is that you're putting out there to the world is how the world is going to perceive you. For me, it started off with like motivational videos, videos regarding being a recovering alcoholic and things like that. And don't get me wrong, those were good. Those were good videos. But one of the things that I'm passionate about is cooking. So
Yeah.
I had to pivot, and it's a hard pivot. Don't get me wrong, but it's what I want to be known for. I feel like for me, cooking is an easy way to break bread with people and get that connection with people because everybody
Yeah.
connects through food. So the first thing is, what do you want to be known for? The second thing is you need to get knowledge on what it is that you want to be known for. So one of the issues I had for me was asking Lashawnda
For
to do
everything.
everything. And, so it's one thing whenever somebody is kind of holding your hand and doing it for you, but it's another thing whenever you actually take the initiative and learn for yourself. And one of the things I've learned throughout my process is I need this information because I don't want to be out there and be asked a question that I can't answer because I don't have Lashawnda around me to answer the question.
Right,
So,
right.
gaining knowledge is extremely crucial as far as what it is that you're wanting to do.
And I will also even add, because you said some really, really good stuff. Kind of along the lines of what he was just saying is perfect your craft, but also give yourself grace on the timeline. Like you need to create a realistic timeline on when you're going to start seeing results because I find that when working with clients or new content creators, specifically with YouTube, they want to post 2 videos and blow up. And they're like, dang, I only got like 2 views on this, only got 10 views on this. And you have to understand, like, this is a marathon. This is not a sprint. You're not going to see results tomorrow. Now, if you do, like I said, with this channel, keep in mind that I did a lot of research at the beginning stages to even have the potential for our first 2 videos to pop, to take off. And I just so happen to know that at that stage, because now a lot of people done jumped into space now, but at the time when we first started our couples channel, there were not a lot of interracial couples videos out there like that.
Very true.
But they were very, very in high demand. So when we did our interracial couples videos, because it was already in high demand, they took off really, really quickly.
Right.
But that's not for every single industry that you may be entering. So like cooking, for example, that's a saturated industry. Now, it's not to say that you can't take off, you will, but you will definitely need that momentum.
You're going to need momentum.
Yes.
You're going to need to put in the hard work for the industry I'm going into. Everybody's a cook.
Right.
So it's not an easy thing that I'm pivoting into.
Right. And right now, it's not as simple as you just doing a good recipe. Now you have to find a way to stand out. Now, luckily for Michael, he has a personality that will help him stand out.
That's what I do.
So that is going to be his competitive edge in the market with him utilizing his personality. And if y'all haven't seen his recent cooking video with the cabbage.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, my God. Y'all have to watch that video because there's a part in there that is so funny. And one of the things that we kind of kept in his video was, obviously, when you're doing like professional type of videos where you're like editing and post-production and stuff, you normally edit out the mistakes.
Right.
Well, in this video, there were a couple of mistakes that was made where we were dying laughing. And I was like, babe, leave that in because that's going to make people relate to you. You got to watch the video.
Right. And I'm not trying to teach you how to be a chef. I'm trying to teach you how to cook.
Yeah.
So people make mistakes.
Right.
One of the things I want to piggyback off of something that you said as far as giving yourself grace is, like you said, it's not going to happen immediately.
It's not.
My TikTok account, I got over 300 videos. Nothing, I've never blown up. I've got over 80 videos on YouTube. Never blown up. It takes time. Consistency, however, I feel like is the key to success.
Yes.
And giving yourself grace, also understand you're going to make mistakes. I've had a lot of videos that I had to redo 40 times, it seems like.
You don't see that.
On a video that's 2 minutes long.
Yep.
Like literally. And so there's a lot that goes into if you want to be a content creator, and there's a lot that goes into the mistakes that you're going to make along the way. However, it really depends on how you look at your mistakes. If you look at your mistakes and you laugh about it, guess what? You're going to be doing really good. Because if you look at your mistakes and you get really upset and you get really destroyed by them, it's going to be very hard for you to step into this industry because of the fact that you're going to make mistakes. And I feel like the mistakes are the best part because that's what really helps teach you how to become better at your craft.
That's how you perfect your craft, by going through the mistakes and understanding. Even like doing this podcast episode, it's been a while, so it took us a minute
Oh,
to
yeah.
figure out
Yeah.
what we need to do. But because we were making the mistakes at the beginning process today, we were like, you know what? A part of us perfecting this craft is writing down the steps that we took that we were supposed to do once we figured out everything, so that next time it will be a smoother process.
Right.
And so you have to do that for yourself, and whatever it is, the type of content that you're planning to create, that's a part of you perfecting your craft. You know what I'm saying? So, but definitely do it. It was something I was going to say in reference to what you said, but I don't remember now.
Grace.
Yeah. Oh, I remember what I was going to say.
I see. Told you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, I'm going to end it with this. So with my channel, remember earlier I was talking about how I got monetized, and like 90% of YouTube creators that start on YouTube, they never see 1,000 YouTube subscribers. It took me to create 100 long form YouTube videos to hit my first 1,000 subscribers. And that's typically, on average, what people see that they have to do in order to hit that. Yeah. Now, granted, a part of me perfecting my craft is out of those 100 videos and doing the process over and over and over again for that a length of time, I know now what I would have done differently to hit it faster.
Right.
If I would have stayed consistent when I was starting, and based on different things that I've learned throughout creating 100 videos, now I know how to get there faster in the future. Right. So you have to do that for yourself. If you've never picked up a camera or picked up a podcast mic, it's like you have to think about the long-term vision that you have, because that's what's going to keep your head in the game when you're creating those 100 episodes or those 100 videos. That's what's going to keep you in the game. But I'm going to shut up now because I can keep on going when it comes to that.
She's really passionate about this, guy.
I am. All right. So let us know your thoughts about this episode specifically, because we just went through our entire flow, and this is what we want to continue to do on our episode so that we can hit on multiple topics. So let us know what you think.
Amen.
And then I'm going to let you wrap it up.
Bye. No, I'm just playing. No, like she said, definitely leave in the comments how you would handle some of these situations and your questions. And if you've made it this far, then say sausage in the comments so I know that you actually made it all the way to the end.
He always picks a good word, like the most random thing to say at the end of it. And it'd be so funny when we get the comments of people saying it in the comment section.
Yeah, I always wonder, like, whenever people read our comments, whether or not they look and they're like, sausage, what?
Right, like, what's going on? Yeah, so that was good. All right, guys. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
All right, bye.